May be dead and buried, but it's not forgotten. Not for 1 minute. Nor have I forgotten the reason why I came to Collinsport.
Just why did you come back to Collinsport?
That one is scene transition, but that was beautiful. The fact that she waited for that moment to make a dramatic entrance, it's like, yes, queen. Hello, and welcome to my watch of the original supernatural soap opera, Dark Shadows. I am one half of the Articulate Coven, Joel Sharpton. I am your fearless leader and host here. I've got a piece of feedback that I want to get to before we get to our episode for today. This is episode 76 of Dark Shadows. That's what we're up to. If you're just joining us, I can't recommend enough to go back into the archive wherever you are joining us. I'm assuming if you're just watching your first one, it's on YouTube. But go back and watch this thing from the very beginning. Yes, it is a lot of episodes, but also there is so much context that you would have missed otherwise. A lot of people tell me that I should have jumped to like 212, episode 212, where Barnabas comes in, the vampire that is kind of the center of this show. But I feel like there's been a lot of wonderful stuff already, and I'm enjoying the ride. I want to say a quick thank you to Zach Brahani. He mentioned on our YouTube channel, because we had referenced recently Anne Rice's influence from Dark Shadows, and I could have sworn that I had heard her say that she was a fan, that she had watched it. Apparently that was not the case. Zach says, so to my understanding from talking to a close friend of hers, meaning Anne's, when the show was on, it was during the time her daughter was alive. Her daughter was born in 1967, I believe, and she passed away in 71. So she was kind of busy during that time. Anne had never really watched the show, never got around to it, though this friend did try to get her to the point of wearing a Dark Shadows shirt to a public appearance. So apparently the truth of the matter is that Anne was not very heavily influenced by Dark Shadows because she didn't watch it. Her daughter Michelle is in many ways the inspiration for the character of Claudia in Interview with the Vampire, and her grief over Michelle's death, she died to a form of childhood cancer. Her grief over her child's death is what led to, in many ways, the creation of the character of Louis and eventually Lestat and the entire Vampire Chronicles, which is what our whole YouTube channel and fan club is about. Anyway, if you're enjoying these videos about Dark Shadows, thank you, Zach, for that feedback. If you're enjoying these videos, I cannot recommend enough to you to join our Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free, including Dark Shadows. We're a couple of weeks ahead in releases for patrons, and we'll stay that way from here on out. So thanks to everybody who's watching these, no matter where you're doing it. And if you can afford to help the show, well, we appreciate that as well. We're closing in on about 70. I think we're real close to 70 now, paid patrons. So thank you to everybody who is part of making these videos happen. Let's get into episode 76.
She hasn't been off this place in 18 years, so I know she's here somewhere. I want to see her. Is that clear?
Carolyn, would you mind going to see if you can find your mother?
You already sent Matthew for her.
So I did. In that case, I'll wait.
What have you come here for, Burke?
I came here for something I waited 10 years for. I've come for Collinwood.
I'm going to make her an offer she can't refuse. You just said it, though, Burke. She hasn't been off the property in 18 years. She's not going to sell this place to you. I mean, you can take the family in some way if you can literally bankrupt them, which is what your original plan was, I think. This ain't working, though, bud. This ain't working.
You said you meant us no harm.
That, my dear Carolyn, is what the politicians call campaign oratory. It's what you want to hear, but you're not necessarily expected to believe it.
And I suppose everything else was campaign oratory, too.
Here in the USA in 2025, we don't know anything about campaign oratory. I don't know anything about saying from the stump something that I didn't mean.
Because you don't happen to agree with the jury, you think you can come here and steal Collinwood.
Not steal, Roger. I've never stolen anything. Not even 5 years out of a man's life.
Are you insinuating that I
Sick burn, buddy. Sick burn.
may be dead and buried, but it's not forgotten. Not for 1 minute. Nor have I forgotten the reason why I came to Collinsport.
Just why did you come back to Collinsport?
That wasn't a scene transition, but that was beautiful. The fact that she waited for that moment to make a dramatic entrance. It's like, yes, queen.
My personal life does not concern you.
You're quite right, Mrs. Stoddard. For that outburst, I apologize. But I don't apologize for wanting this house, these grounds, for wanting Collinwood.
Don't act surprised. Okay, that was that was a ridiculous stump transition. I was going to praise earlier this episode in particular, but this whole run since the turn at 70 has been I feel like much more streamlined. It's like they finally got their footing a little bit and they're off and running now. But this episode in particular had felt like it was just moving at a great clip. For instance, earlier when she came into the room, that normally would have been the place to make the scene transition. I guess the timing just didn't work out right for commercials or whatever, but this transition was sort of ridiculous. Like, she's literally been told 2 or 3 times now that he is here saying that he wants Collinwood. So, like, why give him the big eyes when he says that? He's already literally stated it to you, effectively.
splendid wherever you choose to hang it? Why must you pick Collinwood for your art gallery?
It doesn't matter one way or the other. Collinwood is not for sale.
Even if I were willing to pay more than it is worth?
Did you say more than it is worth?
Look at this dude. Look at this dude flipping for $1. It's not your house to sell, Raj. That is some very effective, nervous acting there, Carolyn. Excellent work. Here comes Vicky with the bombshell.
Collinwood is not for sale.
But you yourself have said that it's dreary, drafty, and desolate. Why not get rid of it?
This dude. You literally have talked for 76 episodes about how this man is out to ruin your life and the life of all of your family members. And you are so ready to turn for $1, which again, isn't even going to be your dollars unless Elizabeth gives it to you.
Very well, Burke. I think we understand each other.
Is you don't understand this man at all. How could you?
Do you understand me, Roger?
Maybe not. But I think we should talk this over.
Roger says, wait, let's cash them checks, baby.
I have my personal reasons for wanting to stay, and I assure you, they're just as valid as his.
But not only would we be rid of this place, but we would be rid of the headaches that go with staying on this place.
Meaning me?
Yes! Meaning Burke Devlin.
I'm not afraid of Burke Devlin or his plans.
I mean, to be fair to Roger here for a second, which I am generally not, Elizabeth, you do not have a couple of potential manslaughter homicide charges hanging over your head like old Roger does.
My evaluation of Collinwood is not based on assessment. There are certain things you can't put a value on. Collinwood is one of them.
Burke, let me talk to Liz for a moment. Step out here.
And I'll take a scene with Vicky and Carolyn while you two talk. I will say, like, yeah, Roger, the number one thing you could have done to help your case is not have all that conversation in front of Burke. Like, the fact that he now knows that you two are divided on this is not going to help you hanging on to the house, knowing, obviously, that Burke is not going to get this house, not anytime soon anyway.
Why don't you ask some of the people in the town? Some of the people who work at the cannery. The men who work the fishing boats. They'll tell you about the illustrious Collins family.
Is that true, or is this just another expression of hurt feelings?
I only know what I've been told.
And you only believe what you want to believe.
That's better than believing nothing at all.
I don't know that it is, Bert.
Heaven's sake, Liz, it would be worth it to sell at a loss if it meant getting Burke off our necks.
I don't think it's my neck.
Again, easy for you to say when it is not your house. You do not own this home. You will not be reaping the profits and or the losses.
Don't tell me it's because of Paul, because I know better than that.
You know nothing at all.
I know that this blissful marriage you were supposed to have had was not so blissful at all.
Been a hot minute since we've heard about Paul, and I don't believe we've heard that it was an unhappy marriage, although it was made plain that he just ran off effectively, I think. That came up with Bill Malloy early.
That's why I could never believe this story about you sitting here and waiting and grieving for your long-lost husband to show up.
I refuse to discuss it anymore. And I also refuse to discuss even the remote possibility of selling Collinswood.
You tried twice and couldn't get it right. Collinwood, Collinsport.
Carol, come in. You too, Vicky. All of you might as well hear what I have to say.
Well, why bore Vicky with our private affairs?
Vicky?
Boy, it's rare that we get all 5 of our actors in an episode in the same scene.
If you want to fight, you'll get one. But I promise you one thing. When it's over, you'll know you've been in a fight.
Mrs. Stoddard, I'm sure I will. I'm sorry that you have to be involved, but you happen to be a Collins.
My name is Stoddard. Carolyn Stoddard.
Carolyn Collins Stoddard.
Yeah, you tell her, Bert. You tell her, Bert.
Where do you stand in all this?
Right where I've always stood, on my own 2 feet.
I see. Well, I hope those pretty feet don't get smeared with mud.
It's war. It's war, I tell you. Great episode. Great, genuinely one of the best episodes so far without a major revelation, right? Like the pin didn't come out in this one. That's still hanging out there. I really thought that would come up, but you didn't need it because this was all about the drama of Burke just openly saying what has been largely subtext so far. And then Elizabeth coming back at him with the same thing. Like, actually, let's remember who's rich around here. I think based on what we know that Elizabeth is not nearly as rich as Burke is anymore. And maybe she doesn't even understand that, honestly. So excited to get to the next batch of episodes, 77, 78, 79, all ahead of you if you're a patron. And if you are not a patron, you can become one and get those right now. Go over to articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free. Thank you, and we'll be back soon. I am Joel Sharpton, one half of the Articulate Coven.